I'm Kevin LaPointe, the City Forester with the City of Kansas City, Missouri. And we're out here today on this beautiful day because we're out to talk about trees. In Kansas City, we've inherited a wonderful heritage of trees throughout this city. We have a great canopy of trees and an urban forest that we're proud of. And so we want to talk today about the emerald ash borer. You may hear EAB, the acronym, being thrown around in the future. And we just want to talk about that to give an awareness to people of what emerald ash borer is, what it can do, and what we can do in response to it. Emerald ash borer came into the country about 2002 in the Great Lakes states around Michigan, and it's spread throughout 17 states now in the northern part of the country and is now in Missouri as well. And we discovered it this summer in August within the city limits of Kansas City. And what emerald ash borer is, it's a small green beetle that was imported from Asia, came into the country. Because it has no natural predators in our country, it's just expanded and exploded in now 17 states. It destroys only ash trees, so we only have to worry about ash trees. But it's destroyed millions of trees in the northern states already. And we have, just in the Kansas City city limits, about 400,000 ash trees that potentially could be killed. And now at this point in time, the federal government, USDA, and the state has quarantined both Platte and Clay counties. We have not found it in Jackson County at this point. But that's important because the way EAB spreads within the country, the way it spreads the easiest is through the transportation of firewood. And that's probably how it got here to begin with. So the message today is, first of all, what we can do as citizens and as residents is be very careful about transporting firewood of any kind. In the quarantine areas, you cannot transport any hardwood firewood at this time, not just ash. Even though, again, EAB, as the name says, only attacks ash trees. So what can we do about EAB now that we've found it in Kansas City, both as a municipality, as a city, and as residents? Well, the first thing is to educate ourselves. We don't need to panic, we need to plan at this point in time. So get onto the EAB websites, the national site, www.emeraldashborer.info, and then the state website, which is www.eab.missouri.edu. And those websites have just all you need to know about emerald ash borer. Once we learn everything we can about EAB, then we need to start looking and assessing our own properties. Do you have ash trees on your property? And you can call a lot of the local tree companies will come over and look at your trees and let you know what you have, and they don't charge for those services typically, and they can also assess the health of your trees for you. If you're trying to find out if you have an ash tree on your property, you can take a look at the leaves. Ash trees are set up where you have a single leaf, has 5 to 9 leaflets. They look like individual leaves, but they're all attached to the same leaf petiole. The leaves are usually opposite, except for the terminal leaf at the end. And just like the leaves themselves, if you look, they're set up opposite one another, where you can see the new buds that have come on for next spring. And that's the way they're set on the tree, on the branches. The leaves are opposite from one another, 5 to 9 leaflets on one leaf petiole. The leaves themselves tend to take on a spear-shaped kind of appearance, and they have sometimes either a smooth, or you can see on this one, a wavy or serrated edge to them. And that's how you can identify whether you have an ash tree. There are some similar trees, so if you're not sure, you can always ask a local arborist. They sometimes will come and just inspect your trees freely at no charge, and they can tell you for sure if you have an ash tree. The city is here to help, and we're going to do everything we can to keep the information, good information, flowing to our citizens so that we can make informed decisions. We're planning right now as I speak on northern dump sites that we can use once trees begin to die that have not been treated or cannot be treated, and we have to remove them, both for our city trees, city street trees, as well as trees on your property. And we're going to try to make that available for the citizens, just like we do the local dump sites now. If you have an ash tree, don't go out and just remove it immediately, especially if that's not warranted. But think about where on your property can you plant a replacement tree, and begin today. That's the most important thing. Even as we transition over the next 5 or 10 years, as emerald ash borer works its way through the city, as the population may explode at some point and then finally decline, we need to be planning now on trees that we can be putting on our properties to replace the ash trees. So right now at this time, stay informed, learn what you can, visit the websites, be watching Channel 2, be looking for our news releases and our media, visit our websites and learn everything you can about EAB.